What's going on, guys? This is Greg back with the Super 6 Charger, and the day has finally come, man. I am so glad I'm actually sitting inside the newly ripped Super 6 Charger, and it has been a long, grueling process, a long wait, man. It's actually been 3 weeks, a good solid 3 weeks since I dropped the car off. And really, normally it shouldn't take that long, but you know, being the issues that we had with the computer, they had to get it right. But I am so glad to have it back. I actually picked it up on Thursday, I think, and I really wanted to do a video then, but the weather was so bad. So here it is, as promised. Thank you guys so much for your patience and your comments. I really appreciate it. But the day is here. Let's go ahead and take a look up under the hood. I already got the hood open. Let's take a look and let's talk about this bad boy. And there she is. There's the kit installed. There's our K&N cold air intake. This intake right here is actually larger, much larger than the one I had on before. If you look at my first video, you can kind of compare the size of that breather, that filter, man, as opposed to that Spectra one I had. It's much larger. It's sucking in a lot more air to feed this monster. Here is the actual blower fan here, and then here's our blow-off valve. The installer I actually used is called Mahdavi Motorsports. I'll put that in the description. They're actually located here in Lilburn, Georgia. It's about 30 miles from where I live, so it wasn't bad. And they did a really good job with the install. I actually had the kit. Wow, I actually had the kit for since about October of last year. So just now getting it put on, it's just been a long wait. And like my man 86 Face and D-Dot said, that you know, it's really a process trying to decide on when and where you're going to have it installed. And you finding a good shop, somebody that's familiar and know what they're doing, is very important. And then also the tune is what gave us a hard time with the computer. If you look at my last video, you know, I talked about how the computer that came with the kit was flashed for another charger, and so they had to send that off and have it reflashed and all of that reprogrammed, and that took a while to go back and forth through the mail. So finally got it back, and I'm just so glad to be making this video here. Take a look at this bad boy through the front grill there. You can actually see the intercooler through the grill. It just looks so awesome. Definitely lets you know there's something lurking up under there. So huge shout out to Sam and Jacob over at Mahdavi Motorsports here in Lilburn, Georgia. So if you're in this area and you get a kit and need to have an installer, look them up. I'll put that description in the I'm sorry, I'll put that name of that shop in the description, as I said before. They do a dyno run before they install the kit of the car as is, and of course, you know, I had a cold air intake and an exhaust on mine. So when Rip did a pre-dyno run on a base charger, it dynoed at 248, I believe. Have to go back and look at that video, but I think it dynoed at 248 actually to the rear wheel. But this one, since it had the cold air intake and the exhaust on it, it dynoed at 267. So those two mods added almost 20 horsepower. So that kind of answers the question if those mods add significant horsepower. And 20 horsepower, I think, is, you know, pretty significant. You know, it can make a big difference. So I was really, you know, surprised to hear that it actually made almost 270 horsepower with just those two mods on it. So if you have a charger and you're thinking about putting a cold air intake and an exhaust on it, it will make a difference. So I have to actually take it back to get it dynoed again. You know, I guess with the issues that we had with the computer, they weren't able to do a really consistent post dyno run on it, but all he said it was fast, and it feels fast. It feels different. It feels like a whole a different car, power-wise. Now, there was a few little tweaks on it. I'm gonna show you. There was a few lights that is coming on, so I'm gonna just turn it on here. Testing. And it starts, really smooth, starts really nice. You can hear that blower on, you can hear that supercharger in there. But what happens is, turn this music down. I get a check engine light, airbag light, and a steering wheel light, and I'm almost certain that is codes being thrown. I'm assuming it's through the computer, it's through the tune, so that's something I have to take back over there. My shop said that they'll be in touch with HP tuners and RIP to get that ironed out and get that taken care of. So I'm looking forward to, actually not looking forward to taking it back over there, but it's got to be done. So I don't feel comfortable with those lights on right there. So, but anyway, that is what's the only issues that I've had. I've actually just got done doing a couple of 0 to 60 runs, and it shaved the whole second off. It was doing a 6.0 as it was, a 6 flat as it was, so now it's down to a 5 flat, and I'm sure I can get down another 5/10 when the air gets a little cooler. It's very hot and muggy here in Georgia, and I'm sure that's probably the difference, but it is faster. And we'll take a little ride later in the video. But just a couple of new additions I had since I put the right before I put the blower on was the hood. I actually got a hood decal there. It's black, it's gloss black, but you can barely see it here in the shade. But I put it on myself. The only issue I had was right there at the corner, a little crease I couldn't get out, but you can't hardly see that. But I love it. It just adds so much more aggression to the car, and it just looks really sweet. I thought it was cool to add some numbers. I think numbers on a car is just awesome. If you look closer, it doesn't say 392, it says 292. Numbers, just numbers. F-150, F-350, 292, 392, they're all just numbers. So if you want to add some numbers to your car, however, it could be your birthday, it's just, I just thought it was really cool to add some numbers. I wanted to add some numbers, but the only number that I can come up with is how much stock horsepower it has. And that's actually good, because if somebody pull up next to me and they say, oh, that's one of them little 292 horsepower V6s, so that means they want to call me out, I'm going to show them what the deal is. So so that's what's going to happen with that. But I thought that was really cool. Forthcoming is going to be 20-inch wheels. We're going to put some 20-inch wheels on this baby, wider tires. I think before I do that, I'm going to upgrade the brakes. I'm going to put some R1 Concept drilled and slotted brakes on it, and some more, some bigger pads on there for stopping, extra stopping power. I know JMac95, you check out his channel, man. He's got a bad A charger, man, with that new rip in it, and I think he just put some tires on it. He actually put Brembo brakes on it. So J-Mac, I'm not ready to step up to the Brembos yet, man, but I'm gonna have to work my way up. But yeah, I'm gonna put the new rotors, so new rotors and pads drilled and slotted, and then will come the wheels and the tires later on. So got to do one step at a time. But I'm really happy with it so far. We get the dash codes ironed out and everything will be good to go. According to RIP, there is a break-in period for the supercharger. I think it's 500 miles. So hopefully, you know, after that break-in period, hopefully those codes will clear up. You know, keep my fingers crossed once it gets broken in, and you know, just hopefully we get that taken care of. So let's actually go for a little drive. I'm gonna show you guys how it pulls and my new impressions on that.